Melissa Navia, Erica Ortega's to you and I who watch Strange New Worlds, she's about to go and do something pretty amazing that will bring her that much closer to being just like her counterpart as she goes for her pilot's license. This tidbit revealed as she interviews NASA astronaut Commander Michael Lopez Alegria about space exploration and what life is like up in space. She also revealed a little bit about what it's like to be on the set of the Enterprise, while the commander does a little acrobatics to entertain us. That plus birthdays, premiere announcements, work being done on Starfleet Academy, and the state of Lower Decks Season 5, as well as a bit about legacy hopes and what we expect to see on Discovery as well. This is the Star Trek Void, where I try to fill the gaps between new episodes with some news and information and hopefully a little entertainment. And this week, I'm going to start us off with some birthdays. And we're going to start with Brent Spiner, who did celebrate a birthday, I believe, on Friday, and I just didn't fit it into last week's video. So this one is from Letters for Legacy, initiating celebratory protocol for Mr. Brent Spiner's 75th orbit, precisely 2,365,200,000 seconds in the space-time continuum. Live long and prosper in the ongoing exploration of the human experience, dear sir. So a very happy birthday to Data. And a very happy birthday, this one posted by TrekMovie.com. Happy birthday to Alice Eve, who played Dr. Carol Marcus in the 2013 film Star Trek Into Darkness. So this is one of our reboot characters. Very happy birthday to Alice. And another happy birthday to Megan Gallagher, who celebrates her birthday after playing several characters from Voyager, Deep Space Nine. Happy birthday to Megan Gallagher, Muriel in Invasive Procedures, and Faith Garland in Little Green Men on Star Trek Deep Space Nine, and Jaren in Star Trek Voyager. Episode Body and Soul was a really good one. I enjoyed that. Doc and having fun being people. So a very happy birthday. But that's not all. It was a very busy week, apparently, as we celebrate Ethan Phillips' birthday as well. Another one by TrekMovie.com. Happy birthday to Ethan Phillips, Neelix on Star Trek Voyager. He also played a Ferengi on Star Trek TNG and Enterprise. Yep. And a cameo as holographic human Maitre D in Star Trek First Contact, of course, and returned recently on Very Short Treks. This one is a hashtag with Girls Better Call Saul and Avenue 5. Happy birthday to Ethan. I really liked Neelix. I know I'm sort of alone in that, but I enjoyed Neelix. And last but most certainly not least, the Prince of Star Trek himself. Star Trek on Plus posts happy birthday to Eugene Roddenberry official. Celebrate by dropping your favorite Star Trek gifts below. And I'm sure there were tons, but I'm not going to go through all of those. I just wanted to make sure that we got to tell Eugene a very happy birthday. And if you've been here before, you know I love using my memes to keep myself on track. This one is all about those Saturn Awards, as Star Trek did very well in that category, or a couple of categories. Star Trek Central shares this, and if you saw my previous video or don't live under a rock, you're already aware of this, but Star Trek Picard, Best Science Fiction Television Series, Sir Patrick Stewart, Best Actor in a Television Series, Jonathan Frakes, Best Supporting Actor in a Television Series, and of course, Jeri Ryan, Best Supporting Actress in a Television Series. So let's give her her own. More on that later. But yeah, great time at the Saturn Awards. Everyone did great. And there was good representation. Just a wonderful time. I especially liked the red carpet interviews beforehand, but just a great time. And a lot of those interviews inspired some articles that we'll be covering in just a moment. But first, I have got to show you this really cool interactive 3D. Here, just check this out. Okay, so I think I've got this centered enough that you can get a good idea. The only thing I have to cut out, it seems like, is it says the Roddenberry Archive up in the upper left-hand corner. So we lose a little bit on this edge here, but you can see this 3D rendering of the Defiant is what I've got it set on here. We can also take a look at the Voyager. Very cool. And there is a way to be able to navigate, look around yourself. I'm just not going to do that because it'll drag on my system a bit. And it does it very well automatically. You can see around the entire bridge of whichever ship you choose. And there are quite a few to choose from here. We have, of course, had the Voyager Defiant from DS9. We've got the Cerritos here. And the Protostar is the last one. If I remove myself here real quick. Yeah, you can see there's the Protostar. There's the other end here. So we just drag it over. And let's see, there's Deep Space Nine. And it's taking me to Deep Space now. There's the Excelsior and the Saratoga. And I believe Saratoga is the... No, not the last one. Okay, yeah, hold on. Yeah, so nice choice. The Reliant, the Grissom. There is the Bozeman and the USS Discovery. Are we going... Ooh. All right, I don't want to make my system crazy, so I'm not going to go in here. Oh, yeah, I am. What am I talking about? Of course, I'm going to go in here. Multiple timelines, myriad. Yeah, so there's a lot to explore here. It's very cool. So you can look around the inside, 3D rendering. Oh, and also I wanted to show you this real quick. Press expand. Wait a half a second because it does take a minute for it to load up. But at least on my system, which is kind of doing a lot right now. But you're basically 3D virtual reality. I kind of wish we could do this in goggles. That would be so much cooler. But now we're looking at a wall. But yeah, how cool is this to just be able to, we're going to play that we are now the captain and having a good time aboard the bridge. And so I'll have the link to this below. I didn't get a chance to play around with it as much as I wanted to before I showed it to you. So let me know below what you thought of that. It's a pretty cool project. And I'm going to show you what most of the posts, it again cuts me off. The screen size isn't big enough for everything. But this is another one by Superfan. I think we've heard from him before. Jorg Hildebrand. Wow, check this out. You can walk around the bridge of the USS Cerritos from Star Trek Lower Decks on the Star Trek DS9 Promenade and in Quarks or the USS Defiant or USS Voyager Bridge. Thanks, Roddenberry Archive and at OTOY. It's excellent. And again, there's a link. I'll make sure that's below. A little fan fun, a little fan enthusiasm and passion. Always love it. And now we're going to talk about that premiere date for Discovery. For quite some time now, we've had a soft release of April, but now we know it's going to be Thursday, April 4th. That is when we will see the premiere of Season 5. This is shared by Trek Central, breaking Star Trek Discovery Season 5 premiere April 4th, 2024, just in case we thought we were going to have to wait another year. The Paramount app confirms that Discovery's 5th and final season will air on April 4th. Season 5 will feature 10 episodes, airing weekdays on Thursdays via Paramount Plus. As usual, this is not new information, but the exact premiere date is. So gearing up, not too long to go. And according to a very excited Doug Jones seen here at the Saturn Awards, it's going to be a really good season for Saru. Some changes. He's going to be offered a change of position in Starfleet. And they caught him wearing this 1980s classic tuxedo that he'd put some flair on, and he then joked about possibly being mistaken for a bellhop. But he looks great. He had great energy on the red carpet, and he answered a few questions. And so we have had quite a bit of information about Discovery. We have the basic synopsis. We know they're going to find an 800-year-old Romulan ship. There's going to be a puzzle or a mystery to solve. And we know Tilly will be coming back. So one of the questions was, how is that relationship between Tilly and Saru now? How has it changed? And he says, well, now she's not so much needing a mentor. She's grown into herself. And it's more of that father-daughter relationship, which I can see that. They're going to be friends as they get older. And that's really quite cool to see how these relationships grow and change in an organic way, even though it's a TV show. And Doug is also very open to putting on the makeup again if he comes back for Starfleet Academy, which is highly likely. The entire crew of Discovery is in that same timeline, so it's very possible we could see some guest appearances on Starfleet Academy, maybe as visiting professors. And while he does hint that it's great not to have to put on all that makeup and stuff on a regular basis, but is happy to do it for a guest spot on Academy every now and then, did share one thing that we did kind of get a hint about, that the Season 5 crew had to come back and refilm some parts of the ending to give it a good ending for those of us who, like a good ending in our show. Because as we know, Season 5 was recorded before they knew it was going to be the final season. So a nice cleanup there at the end. And Doug also hints that promotion or change in his position at Starfleet probably won't be the only change we see for Saru. And we do have a little bit of a hint that it's also going to have to do with his romantic dealings with a certain Vulcan. And I really enjoyed that little bit of romance that came up between their relationship. I'm excited to see where it goes. Now, who knows if we'll really see Saru on Academy, but we do know that Academy is currently being written, because one of the other red carpet interviews at the Saturn Awards was with Tawny. Yeah, so Tawny too was also on the red carpet and was happy to answer a few questions that involved both Lower Decks and Starfleet Academy, as she is one of the writers now working on scripts for the new show. So Tawny lets us know that season 5 of Lower Decks is recorded, at least the voiceovers. She's a little sorry that they did put a stop to the recording during the strike, and it might have put things a little bit on a crunch for the animators, but as far as she knows, most of the production is right on schedule, which shouldn't delay the Lower Decks premiere, at least not by much. Like Doug let us know that Saru will get some changes in Discovery Season 5, Tawny lets us know that we are going to be seeing some changes with Mariner in Lower Decks Season 5, as she's pushed aside that need to rebel against being promoted. And while she grows into being more of a leader and a team player, she'll also be doing a little bit of controlled chaos. As it states in the article, figure out a way to be chaotic, but with a little more responsibility and growth. Now, when it comes to Starfleet Academy, yes, she admits it's very much going to be an 18-year-old college-age type of a show. It's just the time where kids would be going to the academy. So, yeah, Star Trek 90210 kind of in our future. But I have some faith the show will be decent and probably going to be more about getting through Starfleet Academy than who's dating who. At least let's hope. And as far as the headline she'd like us to keep in mind about Starfleet Academy, she says this: the headline that I want you to say about Academy is we have a room full of writers who love Star Trek and are trying to tell a Star Trek story in a new way. And we're really excited to do that. And you know, it might not be the adventure I'm most looking forward to seeing in our Star Trek universe, but I am kind of curious how they will approach students studying to be Starfleet. We assume these are going to be people who grew up wanting to be Starfleet, or maybe even ones who are just sort of pushed into it as a family legacy. There are some things that could be tackled there that we hadn't seen on Star Trek before. So I'm going to watch it, if for no other reason, to fill in some blanks about Star Trek and Starfleet and how things work, and hopefully get to know some characters that I'll grow to enjoy. Maybe see some ones coming back that I already do. Well, what about any other shows possibly coming out of the Star Trek universe? Well, the funny thing is, it sounds like Will Wheaton would like to appear on one again. Well, in an article by CBR, and all links for all articles I'm quoting, they're going to be below. So please feel free to read the entirety of everything I've been talking about. But in this particular article, Will Wheaton is telling us he would love to show up on a future Star Trek series to have a little brother time with his new half-brother, Jack Crusher. Yeah, no joke. He says, I would love to have opportunities to work with Ed Spilliers and be like, turns out I'm your half-brother and you never knew about it. I'm kind of a super being. You're not supposed to know that I'm here. Things don't need to get weird for you. But don't worry, I'm keeping an eye out for you. I'm out. And he goes on to say, those opportunities, if they were ever to arise, it would be like getting a present in the mail. And so if and or when Star Trek Legacy is created, it's a very real possibility we could see Wesley Crusher popping in to help out, which kind of could be interesting, especially considering we expect Q to be part of it as well. Two super beings. I don't know how they could play that off, but they both would have an interest in what Jack's up to, and I'm sure what Picard is up to. Life in general could be quite interesting if we had both Q and Wesley Crusher show up on an episode, causing some sort of havoc, I'm sure. But we never will find out what will happen on Star Trek Legacy if it doesn't get made. And with that, I want to let you know that I have now 2 volunteers there to help me out. My sister and my younger daughter is going to come and help me out on my mission for getting Star Trek Legacy made. This is my mission for Letters for Legacy, to get as many signatures on as many letters as I possibly can over 3 days at the Indiana Comic-Con. And I actually have some great news. If you've made it this far, my secret bit of news, and something I need to post fairly quickly, is that because of circumstances, my husband won't be coming, which means we don't have to pay for dog daycare for 3 dogs while we're gone, which means I need to add a little something to my GoFundMe stating that our rooms are covered. I believe that with not having to pay for that, it's going to just about cover the rooms cost. And my husband let me know last night that he will be getting a small bonus that should cover the rest of the cost for the room. So I'm really just down to the things I need to purchase for the table itself. I'll be changing that on the GoFundMe, but it does bring down what I need to $200 from my account. I'll have to go check. So if you can help me get the rest of the supplies we need to run the table, we're talking posters, prints of the letters, which is obviously paper, ink, printing the posters costs money, cards to hand out with QR. Yeah, it all adds up. If you can help me out, again, I think I'm actually only in need of like a little less than $200 more by March. So if you can help me out, I'll have that GoFundMe link below. I've already got stationery. I've just started looking into hats and or t-shirts for volunteers to wear so we are easily identifiable. So yeah, any little bit you could help, I truly appreciate it. And so real quickly, I need to give out a shout to Eileen Pearson, who is my only donation so far this week. But again, with that bit finding out that we won't have to be paying for a few things, I'm just going to add that to stuff that we already have because it was part of the reason I was going to need some help, because I'm counting money that we wouldn't normally be spending for a convention as in the positive. So if you can help me get that last few $100s, please do what you can. If you can't, please share my GoFundMe. The link will be in the comments below. Thank you so much for joining me on this update. There was quite a bit of information, and I hope I presented it decently. I'm sorry I couldn't get everything on the screen I wanted to. But if you enjoyed it, please give me a like. Don't forget to subscribe so you'll get next week's update. Always throw a comment in if there's something you particularly enjoyed or would like to see more of. And of course, I will take super thanks as well. I also want to thank my patrons and subscribers. I appreciate your continued support as I try to figure out what the heck I'm doing on this channel. And if you'd like more Star Trek information, or if you missed my update earlier in the week about the Saturn Awards and Legacy, go check those out, and I'll see you there. Precisely to the the headline I want you to say about Academy is we have a full. The headline I want you to say about Academy is we have a full room of people. I can't get the words out in the right order. Okay.